Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. My name is NimbleThor, and this is Magic ManaStrike, which is the official Magic the Gathering Tower Rush PvP game. So essentially, a PvP game a bit like Clash Royale, but set in the Magic the Gathering universe. And I am pleased to be able to say that my first impressions, which we're gonna get more into in this video, are that this game is actually really high quality, and that it has, and this is the important part, it has a monetization system better than any PvP game on mobile. I know, that was a bold statement, but I'll get back to talking more about why that is and how the monetization works in this game later on in this video, because whenever we see a huge IP making it to mobile, I just naturally assume that it will be a low effort, pay to win cash grab, but that does not seem to be the case here in this game. The graphics look amazing as well, and let's just head into a battle here so you guys can see how the combat works. Even though the game is brand new, by the way, it already looks like it has a great UI and UX as well. It all felt very easy and intuitive, so the game is off to a good start. And talking about starting, by the way, I was very pleased to see that the tutorial wasn't endlessly dragged out as they are in so many mobile games as well. So this is how you actually fight in this game. We have to take out our opponent's towers, a bit like in Clash Royale. I suppose here they're actually not towers, but more so very strong units. Guards, you could say, that defends the main guard or the main hero in each side of the screen. Ours is on the left, the opponent is on the right. They each have 6,500 HP. Whoever gets to take them out first wins the match. So let's get to deploying some units here. And I'm gonna deploy our main unit as well. And now this is where the game differentiates itself from Clash Royale, for example, because around the main unit, we can deploy more units. So what this means is that as long as our main hero survives, we can keep deploying units far into the opponent's playing field. We don't have to deploy them on our side of the field and wait for them to catch up with our other units. And this means that you can make some really strong pushes in this game very easily. On the flip side, of course, it means that the opponent can do the very same thing to us. So we have to be very careful in this game. But so far, I've been really having a blast with this gameplay idea, this idea that you can deploy a main unit, and then around that unit, you can deploy your smaller, weaker units. So let's try doing a push here in the top right now. There are really only 2 lanes, so a bit like in Clash Royale as well. In many cases, the 2 games are somewhat similar. Let's keep deploying units here. Now, of course, when we deploy units, that costs mana, and you guys can see how much mana we have left in the bottom of the screen. It goes up to 10, and, you know, then each of our units have a mana cost. Now, we do also have a special attack that we can use with our main heroes. Let's try doing that right now. We can drag it up here. And that was a waste, a waste of special ability there, because there were no units left, but we have to keep deploying here faster and faster. We have a bomb we can throw as well. That tower is down, and there's only 16 seconds left on the clock now. I don't think the opponent stands a chance here, honestly, guys, because we have already taken out 2 of the towers, and there goes the last tower. Look at this. The graphics look really neat, by the way. I mean, really huge thumbs up on that front. NimbleThor was victorious, and we got 3 stars. Or 3 points, or whatever they are. Oh, and we also leveled up, it seems. So now we have these new cards available that we can get from card packs. We get new card packs after every single one of our first 5 matches, 1 per day. And there are also lots of launch celebrations going on right now. So if you want to get into the game, now would be a really good time to do so. And you can find the download links in the description box down below this video. It looks like we got 2 really rare units here now. That's awesome. We're going to go look at those units in just a bit, though. But first, have a look at this. We've got Magic TV over here, which is kind of interesting. So we can see other people's matches and learn from the best players in the game. And then we've also got a replay functionality. For some reason, though, I can't actually see any of my own replays right now, but the idea of this feature is really nice. This is the stuff you typically only see in Supercell games. This is the amount of polish and feature richness you only see in those types of games from Supercell. So, of course, I was surprised to see those features here in ManaStrike already, since this game is brand new. We don't have a guild system yet, but we do have those other features. I don't know, it seems like an odd thing to prioritize, but I guess it's nice. We can learn from other people's mistakes. Now, this is our deck right now. So this over here on the very left side is our main hero, and we actually have quite a few heroes that we can switch between, such as this one, for example, Lilinia. Now, this is a necromancer who wields the power of death to bring the dead back to life as the undead. So she can summon a zombie that periodically melee attacks enemy ground units. And before you start to put your team of units together, I really recommend going in here and picking the main hero that you want to play with. And then depending on that hero's stats, depending on its attack patterns and so on, you would go in and select which units you then want to have in your main deck. And you have 7 slots in your main deck. Now, just like in Clash Royale and most other PvP games on mobile, honestly, we can of course go in here and level up each of these units, and that's going to increase, in the case of this Hell Rider at least, the HP and the attack output. So that's going to cost us 600 gold, but fortunately we cannot upgrade our main units, so there's no way to make them stronger, which is of course a much fairer system, because then we don't have to grind stuff for this main hero. And it also means that people who pay to progress faster, or want to attempt to pay to progress faster, can't do that, at least not when it comes to their main heroes. They can of course do that to get more of these normal units though, but we'll get back to talking more about the monetization in just a bit. Talking about these units, by the way, I love how you can go in and preview their attacks. That makes it a lot easier to get into this game as a newbie, for example, understanding that these units, Vexen Devils, they actually explode, they self-destruct, but they are a great way of taking out a huge group of enemy units very, very quickly. I like to have those guys on my team. They typically can take down a push almost on their own, at the very least if they're combined with some sort of melee unit, and then maybe a ranged unit as well. If you have that, you've got a really good defensive setup that can then, after you've taken out the opponents, turn into an offensive setup. Now let's head into another match though with this new and improved, well, slightly improved deck, since we upgraded 2 of our units. Matchmaking is typically incredibly fast as well. It does make me wonder if we fight against bots in the first couple of matches. Wouldn't surprise me, we see those types of systems in most games, but I do expect that we'll get to play actual other players. Well, maybe we are already playing actual other players now, but if not now, at the very least in the near future. Now look at this, it looks like since we are now in Arena 2, the arena itself and the towers have been upgraded. So now I guess they are actually actual towers and not living creatures. So let's see if we can do a push here in the top. I have deployed my main unit. Now I think it would be really cool to see some single player content in this game. And the reason why I mention this is that even though we can preview the attacks of our units, we don't really have any way of training in this game right now, which is unfortunate. It would make it a bit easier to get into as a newbie if we could actually do that. Now, look at this push up here, guys. We're doing surprisingly well here. We're taking down this tower, I think. Well, almost. Okay, they deployed their main hero, and that, that took out our push completely. We can also deploy our main unit again, though, and it seems we can do that over and over again 3 times, by the way, in each match. So let's take out this tower now completely. There we go. That was 1 point out of, well, 3 potential points if we take down the main tower eventually, which I think we will get to. Let's destroy these guys, and, well, right now, I don't know, that warrior up there, he probably needs some DPS support. If we can get him that, maybe these guys here. It's a bit more difficult when your main hero gets destroyed, because then you can't keep deploying new units very far onto the field. But fortunately, we've got our main hero here again, now already very close to the main tower of the opponent. And let's remember to use the special attack of our main hero. And look at this, I think this is going to be a win, as long as we can keep pushing here. Come on, come on, come on, 1200 left, 1000 left, 500 left. Seriously, that's gonna be it. 384 HP left. That is what I call a close one, guys. Now, I know for a fact that we're actually gonna unlock some new game modes at rank 3, or at least event game modes. So I'm really looking forward to that. The more game modes, the better, generally at least. The guild system would be a nice addition in addition to the single player content. But I'm pretty sure that we'll see those features added to the game eventually, especially if it's financially successful at least. And that leads us into the monetization of this game that I kind of hinted at the beginning of this video. So there's this battle pass feature for about $7 per month, which seems actually pretty decently priced. I mean, if you really get into the game and you have to buy one thing, $7 is a lot less than what you'll probably spend on other free-to-play, especially PvP games on mobile, or at least that you can very easily spend on other games. Typically, you can spend up to, hundreds of US dollars per month on those games if you really want to compete in the top 1% at least. However, this is where I have a bit of a confession to make though, because when I initially started recording this video about 10 to 15 minutes ago, we didn't have a cash shop in this game, but then after completing the first match that you guys saw just before, a shop suddenly did appear. So in this shop, it turns out we can actually spend real life money. We can spend in-game gold on buying some things, but we can also buy these packages for real life money, which are gonna give us more cards. So I guess this makes the game a bit more pay to progress faster, or maybe a bit more pay to win. But on the flip side though, I also noticed that these battle rewards don't only reset every day, but they actually reset whenever we've just gone through them. So that means we can keep getting these rewards over and over again. So it's relatively quick to grind your way to some of the better cards as well, or even just more of the same cards so that you can upgrade them. So where does that leave us then? In the beginning of this video, I was ready to conclude that this is definitely the most lightly monetized PvP game on mobile, and I was so excited about that. It was so much better than Clash Royale and all the other games out there in terms of its monetization system. Now, I'm a bit more so-so. I don't know anymore. It could still be that this game is very fairly monetized. It certainly seems like it's still more lightly monetized than most other games out there, but it's more difficult for me to conclude on. The fact that we can keep grinding more card packs without having to wait, and we just keep doing that, is certainly nice, but there's still the cash shop. But I mean, Clash Royale makes it work pretty nicely, and I have my hopes up that this could actually be a good alternative to Clash Royale. So the question is, do you guys agree with that? Let me know what you think about the monetization of ManaStrike if you've already played it, or even if you haven't yet. Let me know what your thoughts are based on this video in the comment section down below, and I'll be looking forward to answering all of you guys' comments down there and engaging with you guys. But that is Magic ManaStrike. I am rather excited about the game. The developers actually did reach out to me and offered me some free premium currency if I was interested. They didn't exactly want to sponsor the video. They didn't tell me what to say, which I'm glad about, as I didn't really feel good about taking sponsorships from mobile game developers when I cover mobile games. Seems like I wouldn't be able to stay objective if I did that. I want to stay objective, so I figured if I could get some premium currency for free, why not take it? But at the same time, I didn't really see any use for premium currency because at the time, I hadn't played long enough to unlock the shop yet. But at the end of the day, by the way, they didn't even send anything to me anyway, even though I did say yes as long as I could still stay objective in my video of the game. So I guess it doesn't matter, but I figured I'd still let you guys know in any case, just to be transparent, even though I didn't actually get anything, and even though I had played the game and downloaded the game even before they contacted me, and it wasn't a sponsorship either. Anyway, I'm just rambling at this point. Just wanted to let you guys know that the developers did reach out to me, but nothing ever came out of that. I still think it's a great game though. I don't want to trash the game just because I didn't receive anything. I'm not mad about it, but just wanted to be upfront about it. Anyway, I hope you guys will enjoy ManaStrike if you decide to check it out for yourselves. And now, let's get to the good stuff, the more simple stuff. You know, the stuff where a shop doesn't appear all of a sudden. It's now time for the mobile gaming nugget of news of the day, which has to do with some interesting new numbers about mobile gaming from 2019. Because it turns out that the combined downloads on Google Play last year was 8.2 billion games, whereas on iOS it was 2.3 billion downloads in total. That's an overall increase across Android and iOS, by the way, of almost 10% in comparison to 2018. Pretty interesting that we crossed that 10 billion downloads milestone in 2019 if you combine Android and iOS, that is. When smartphone gaming first became a thing over 10 years ago, I honestly don't think any of us had expected or even dared to predict that we would have so many people playing mobile games eventually. Anyway, there you go, a great game and an interesting fact, hopefully. I do so sincerely hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time, just keep gaming, stay awesome, and I'll see you guys around.